The following is an encore presentation of new expressions.
10 exactly. How good am I? Well, not exactly. 28
Plus
seconds.
10 and 28 seconds.
Well, you know, it's give or take a minute, you know.
It's like, when you say exactly, that's a very bold
Oh,
thing.
come on. Grace. This is Christian radio, you know. It's new expressions, as you can tell. Doesn't need an introduction here. 5 a.m., to 5 past 10 on a Friday. Either people are listening or doing something else.
You're washing the dishes. If it's 26 or 28 seconds past, it doesn't matter.
Put them fellas in the background. Do something here. But as usual, we get together with my compadre, Craig Stevens. How are you, buddy? Looking good today?
I am so looking good. I've got the best head for radio, fair dinkum.
He's a beautiful man. He's a beautiful man.
That's it. That's what it is.
Yes.
No, I'm flourishing, mate. Blessed, favoured of the
Amen.
King, living abundant life, happy, joyful,
That's right.
and free. All because of Jesus. Hallelujah. Mm-hmm. You know, that's our story. That's our story. You do know that, don't you?
It is our story. Yes, it is.
We've been given a great and glorious story. We are blessed. We don't have to deserve or earn anything. He's just good to us. Wouldn't it be good if we were just solid on that story?
That's right. I got two stories. That one and the other one is I was a home officer. So, other than that.
Okay.
I did first. No expressions.
Yeah,
6 past 10. Friday
we
morning.
Brag on Jesus every morning at 10 a.m. on a Friday.
Yes.
Talk all things kingdom.
Talk all things.
And today in the studio, guest, first time with us on New Expressions program. Welcome, Mark Watson. Great to have you with us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Watto. Is that your nickname? I don't know.
Yeah, at school growing up, Watto
sure.
was there. Yeah, but yeah, probably since I left school, Don Marco has been something that it's kind of stuck with me. Yeah, online and
Don Marco.
Gaming tag.
I like it. And mate, thanks so much for coming into the studio. I've been really excited about having this conversation. It dawned on me, this is a great conversation for radio. Particularly with a Rema listening audience today, just to explore your world, which is a ministry world, and a kind of, you know, you're in the Baptist tradition or stream or whatever, if you like, but in this space of online gaming, you know, the gaming console internet type space of, you know, this bizarre world that is just entrenched in society today.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're up to your eyeballs in that. So I've been really looking forward to having the conversation with you and to understanding a whole lot more about what ministry in that space looks like. But maybe just before we dive into what's called SCAR Ministries, maybe just a little background on you. So you're here on the coast. How long you been on the coast?
Yeah, I grew up in Sydney. Got married in Sydney pretty early. I was 18 when I got married. My wife's a little older, so she was 25. But
someone had to be mature.
He
opened the door for that one, didn't he?
Yeah, I did. But yeah, then I travelled over to England and lived over there with my new wife for a couple of years, and then came back to the Central Coast to have our first child.
I didn't know that.
Sarah,
what are you
who's
doing
15
in the UK?
We were over there working for a healing and deliverance ministry, so pretty full on. Really dynamic stuff happening. A lot of healing.
Anytime you have deliverance in your ministry name, it's just full on. That's just automatic.
It's going to be full on.
Yes, it's full on.
Actually, the ministry was fantastic because it wasn't about being full on; it was about being gentle. So that's called LL Ministries.
Yes. Okay.
Was involved with them for a while. But came back, had my first child, settled on the Central Coast, further north than where we are now in East Gosford. Then since I've had 2 more kids, so I've got 3, Sarah, Josh and Hannah, 15, 13 and 10. And so we've been on the Central Coast for about 16 years now. We're plugged into Erina Baptist Community Church, just here at Erina.
Yeah, and like that's the next roundabout, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, the next roundabout.
Just up from where we are.
Yeah, it's funny. It's right near the Footprints preschool there. So, on the corner near the Central Coast Grammar. So, we've been there.
Do you know, I used to know that place as the place where NBN was.
Across the road. Yeah.
But it's not there.
No, it's Pet
It's gone.
So it's a pet store. Pet barn? It's a pet barn? It's a pet store there.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah.
But what happened to
Props out to them.
What happened to NBN?
Oh, I don't know.
Gone.
You know, maybe they merged with Netflix. I don't know. Not sure. Not sure.
Doesn't really matter because
what's going on.
it's all about radio at the moment. So it doesn't really matter.
That's right.
Come on.
Yeah.
But, so Aaron and Baps is there, and you've been plugged in there for a while now.
Yep.
But you're involved in youth ministry in that context too, yeah?
Yeah. So I'm one of the youth leaders there. Pastor Jack is the youth pastor there, and so I work along with him.
Because we were talking with, was it Sarah? Was it the
Sarah
other week?
Alec- yeah.
And Pastor Jack Styles, is it?
Yeah.
And we
With all the
decided
great
everyone
names.
wants to be called Pastor Jack Styles.
Yeah.
Pastor Styles.
That's the coolest name.
Yes,
in the world.
exactly.
Don't you
That's
reckon?
right. Yeah, it's a nice
he's
DJ name, Pastor Styles. Pastor and a DJ.
Do you know what? I got
DJ
text
Styles. He
messages.
actually is DJ Styles.
There you go. He's there.
He's awesome. Love Pastor Jack. So do a bit of youth group, but that kind of keeps me pretty busy. But I'm studying at the moment. I've just completed a Bachelor of Ministry through Moreland College down in Sydney, mostly online, but now I'm doing a Master's of Theological Studies.
Because you were bored and
'Cause-
thought, I know what to do.
Nothing to do.
I'll just...
COVID, yes,
My
why not?
background's in outdoor rec, so I've done a lot of outdoor rec stuff.
that's
I do
really
enjoy-
consistent. A Master's of Theology and Outdoor Rec. I mean,
the Masters is a struggle. I'll give you that. I'd much rather be at the top of a cliff abseiling down than sitting in a book somewhere. But outdoor rec stuff, and then I started my own PT business as a personal trainer and was doing that. And God, I was sitting there reading the Bible one night just before bed, and God spoke to me and just said, "Mark, I want you to do full-time study, and I want you to be at the center of my ministry." And so in my head, I'm like, center of ministry, what's that?
Yeah.
And I'm still kind of working it out. What is the center of ministry? In my heart, I feel like that's the local church.
Wow.
But I feel like the center of ministry for me is making disciples. So going and making disciples. That's the Great Commission that we've been called to. So for me, I feel like that's it. Through the local church is one aspect, and then another aspect is incarnational mission work. So that is going to where people are. And so I work alongside a group of people online at a ministry called Scar Ministries, and we reach out to gamers around the world.
Amen.
I want to follow up on that encounter. So you have this encounter of Jesus. And how long ago was that?
Oh, I don't know, a couple of years now. I can't remember the date. I just remember it was halfway through the year because I started in semester 2. And I'd already done a diploma in theology, and so I was able to get credit for that to start to finish off the bachelor.
Yeah, right.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear more and more of these kinds of encounters, and I think actually this is the Jesus way. Is like we aren't people who have ascribed to some intellectual assent about affirming a series of ideas. We actually have relationship with Jesus, and He reveals Himself.
Yeah.
And I love across streams, because it doesn't matter. I mean, we've been talking to people in the body of Christ from the most conservative, far, one side of the field to the most free liberal kind of other side of the field, and everywhere in between, and it just seems that consistently Jesus is revealing Himself and speaking to His people. Like the Spirit of God is, we're sons and daughters being led by the Spirit of God. He's talking. He's bringing His plan and His purpose to our hearts, and
well, it's a relationship, so it's not stagnant. It's dynamic in the way that we're experiencing God through relationship. So for me, like, God spoke to me. It wasn't audible. It was just in my heart. It kind of just resonated right in my heart, come from nowhere, and I kind of sat with it for a bit and dwelt on it and felt that aligned with my heart and the Holy Spirit. And so I kind of sat. That's one way. Another way is through the Bible, whether it's through that or a message that we get to encourage us.
Yeah.
God works in a huge amount of ways, and I don't think it was for nothing that I was reading the Word at the time that He spoke. Trying to align myself with His will.
Having ears to hear what the Spirit of God is saying.
That's right.
Yeah.
I call that finding your lane.
Yeah.
And once you find that lane of yours, things just move. They begin to move. And when I mean move, not necessarily in growth in a profit sense, but growth in all areas. You become attached to it. Okay, now that I know this is what I'm supposed to do, then I'm actually gifted in that, but I don't know how to do this. Yeah. And then, the things begin to come, which I call the byproducts. They begin to come to help you move along that road, that lane. So, your lane may be an all-terrain thing, so you need an all-terrain vehicle with the mud guards and the flaps. You need those byproducts.
Yeah,
but in the game, you may be like in the gaming world, you're Master Jedi or Master Styles if he's listening here out there. Your technique is no match for mine. You don't know. So it may be that. Yeah. So computer experience, whatnot. Once you find where you're supposed to be, nothing in your life will ever go to waste. Nothing in God's will goes to waste. You will always find something that you've done be useful to hear. If you lock your car doors, I can get you in, no problem. So nothing goes to waste in the kingdom. So I find that, once you get in your lane, you accelerate. And then that's where you'll be effective as well, too. So, I never wanted to be in radio. And, here I am, lo and behold. Ta-da! Go figure.
It's about having a posture of obedience. And I think prayer is just submitting yourself to Christ, submitting yourself to his sovereignty and saying, like, hey, I'm on board. What are you doing?
That's
What
right.
do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And I think ultimately our true calling is to be in his family, to follow him.
Amen.
And then from there, it can direct in any different direction. And as you said, like whether it's the gifts and the skills you've got that he kind of unpacks and unearths through different experiences, the people that he brings along, that you work along with, and you build up that competency, you build up the character as you go through, the integrity, and you build in that through what you're doing and what you're kind of allowing God to do in you.
So, I like that, allowing God to do in you. Yes. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Prayer's like
discipline.
Prayer's like a big old board meeting. You get in there, you have that meeting, and each chairman sets the ground room to go. So, when Craig first came in here through Duralong, when we first met Craig, he had a sense that there was something more to do. Well, we had our ideas, but then we thought, well, let's all go away and pray about it. And I think it was Craig who came back and talked about grabbing a mic and roved around doing something, and it just evolved into that, not outside, inside. Bring him inside. So, I attribute that to prayer, because we had our idea, but then God said, no, I got a better one. I believe that.
Open to others, open to thought from others, diversity in that.
And then this thing happened at 10 to 11. Who knew?
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
And then, boom, we get to meet people like you and bring what you do out to the world.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's awesome how God works.
Yeah. Amen.
So, Mark, we've been hearing that you've been on the coast for a bunch of years. You served in different school contexts as well.
More recently I've served as an outdoor rec facilitator. So I don't have any teaching degree, but I've done a lot of outdoor rec facilitating. So whether it's at Camp Toukley and running activities there, or doing programming there, or St Philip's more recently, kind of facilitating the outdoor rec program there. Through COVID, it's very hard to do an outdoor rec program on
kind of.
Go out for a walk, guys. No one can instruct you on how to use. But so it was a bit of a struggle, to be honest, in that context. But we did our best, and the school was fantastic through it all. So a little bit in schools, a little bit of outdoor rec stuff. I did move away for a period of time out near Canberra and ran a centre out there, an outdoor rec centre and stuff. But now mostly just do outdoor rec for myself. Going out rock climbing around the coast and enjoying that.
Rock climbing?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Something I'm not game to do.
Yeah, look, you just, the good thing about rock climbing is it's just yourself versus the wall, really, in a way. But you're challenging yourself, and the rock climbing community, especially on the coast, is so encouraging. Such a beautiful bunch of people. Mostly, like I haven't run into anyone that's not, but I just I'm part of Pulse climbing gym at West Gosford. I'm a member there with my two kids. They do lessons there, and we love it there. I have a great time there.
So you do indoor versus outdoor?
I do both.
You do both? You do
when
outdoor?
It's not raining, I love going outside and getting the ropes and going up high. But when you can't, going inside is the next best thing.
Yeah, outdoors, man. You got to have faith to do that, brother.
It's all about the knots, isn't it?
Yeah, knots, and then your technique.
And my mate who was in outdoor rec, he said this. He said, if you don't know knots, then tie lots.
Yeah.
There's a tip for those of you thinking to abseil down 100-foot cliffs. If you don't know how to do the right knots, then just tie lots of them.
Okay.
Is that wrong?
Yeah.
Is that bad advice, mate?
Oh, look, well, yeah, go with somebody who knows what they're doing is what I suggest
Please.
until you can learn it yourself. But definitely go if you get the chance.
It is Friday.
It is Friday.
It is Friday.
Yeah, the weekend's coming.
Oh, so gaming.
Yes.
Are you going to open this up, are you?
Yeah, because I know some people out there have no idea what
Yeah,
gaming is.
yeah.
Some people have an idea of what they think gaming is, but most people have no clue what gaming is.
Oh, well, maybe
yeah.
you got a minute now. Why don't you just talk about your journey in gaming? Like,
Yes.
Yeah. So grew up as a child, grew up in gaming. So I played Nintendo 64, Sega Master System, so the early consoles, and more recently I've got into PC gaming. and
early
Xbox.
meaning in the kind of 80s.
Yeah.
That's when it was
late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
So nothing online yet. All just
Computer
computer
things.
games. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I grew up doing that. I enjoyed it. I used to love that. I mean, I've always done a lot of sports and activities, like being a personal trainer as well. But gaming's another aspect that I just really love. I really enjoy getting on the screen and playing games. So yeah, I would call myself a gamer, an avid gamer, and my kids have also got into gaming, and I've got 2 girls and a boy, and all 3 of them have played games at different, times and at different volumes. But yeah, probably Josh, my son, who's 13, he probably plays the most. But yeah, I enjoy playing with all 3 of them. We've done multiple games at times, board games as well, but yeah, mostly online stuff.
But there are different levels of gaming.
There is.
There's a huge chasm
Yeah.
between your
and mostly it comes around the investment of time.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, it does.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
console.
And yeah, the console. There's a lot of cross-console
PS4
games
versus
now.
the
Yeah.
Xbox versus the
PC.
and the Switch. That's not really a thing, is it?
No, you Switch. Yeah, for
Is
sure.
it still in?
It's
Yeah.
still-
Oh,
still?
definitely.
That's a
Okay.
hardware. Are you talking
take-
hardware or are you
Yeah.
talking platform?
The platform.
talking-
Yeah, hardware
About-
platform.
yeah.
Yeah. Most people will play. Like, there's a lot of games out there that cover all the consoles. So
Yeah.
say a game like Fortnite. That I'm kind of part of a ministry that streams a lot of Fortnite, and we'll get into a bit more detail there. But yeah, it's a cross-platform game that anyone can play from mobile phones. You can play it on your mobile phone.
Yeah. I know. My boy, when he's like, oh, because Xiaomi make a Black Shark, which
Yeah.
is for gaming. Like, no. Price tag on that? No. Your machine costs enough. Get a job.
Yeah.
No way. I love you, son, but no. The phone is that I can reach you.
Yeah.
Not that you can say, hang on,
do
Dad, I'm
so
in the middle
much.
of a game. No. No.
Yes.
No. Let's, actually, we got another 2 or 3 minutes. Let's continue down this road because
Yeah.
I know we're going to unpack that world of gaming, and I don't want to interrupt that because that'll be interesting and an insight to a lot of parents out there who probably know gaming, but you know a lot more, and you're in a position to educate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
look,
so-
fantastic point. Yeah. As a parent. And of somebody who enjoys gaming, of kids that enjoy gaming, and as a
Yeah.
parent who enjoys gaming, I can come from both angles. I also, one of my jobs at the moment, it is my only job at the moment actually, is as a presenter for creating safe spaces. So that's the Baptist organisation, the association, that's their training workshop relating to creating safe spaces within their church community in terms of child safety. And making sure we've got policies, procedures in place so that, kids
Is
can
that
come
'cause-
and be safe. Vulnerable adults can be cared for and be safe. And we are putting in those things and encouraging a church culture that does create those safe spaces. So in terms of creating a safe space for our online ministry, it's been a challenge because it's relatively new what we're trying to do, which is reach people for the gospel who are gaming online, and by doing so we have to create a safe space as well and make it a place that is safe for all people. And so that's certainly been a challenge.
We had Sarah Alicorn on here 2 weeks ago from the Baptist world. So I don't know if you know her or not, or if you guys work in.
Yeah, she's
just
actually
happened
involved
to
in
know.
SCAR Ministries as well. She's actually one of the safe team members for SCAR Ministries. So I
Excellent.
work with her. We meet regularly about safety and as one of the safe team members on SCAR Ministries.
And also
So-
the strange guy in the foyer loitering
Yeah,
at the moment.
that
He's
dude.
also, I think, tied into SCAR.
He's a moderator.
Yeah.
He's a moderator.
The front
yeah,
desk
of-
guy.
of our
That
stream.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Loitering.
Yeah, free guy.
He's an
Front desk guy.
absolute legend. We love Pete.
He got me a chair. He got himself a chair first.
Help those.
Let's get. 0.5 there. No, that was Craig. The song by 0.5. So,
Go back. Put the
don't
screen
tell me
back.
is Pete putting messages on the board again?
Pete's with messages
The
on
front
the
desk guy has access to a computer to the studio,
guy
which is
loitering.
a big screen, and he's actually sending us messages because he can't come in at the moment. You know, we're all safe. It's a safe space in here.
It's a very safe space
safe
because we've got the
in
guy
here,
from the safe
fantastic.
spaces
That's
in
right.
the room, so
That's
it's
right.
definitely a safe space.
That's
Listen,
right.
we're doing new expressions because we do that Friday mornings, 10 to 11, and we brag on Jesus and kingdom stuff and celebrate and conspire for the success of each other and each other's ministry. And in the hot chair, not the chair, but the hot chair today is Mark Watson. Great to have you with us, mate.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so
Watto.
much.
Yeah. Or my mate whose name was Watson when we were at school, Wally. Yeah.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it Wally Watson.
Yeah, Wally Watson.
Dave Wally
Yeah.
Watson. He's probably listening,
That's
actually.
not great. Yeah,
That's
Don
a shout out
Marco's
for you,
cool.
Don.
Or Mark, yeah.
But Mark, you are in this space that's the online world. Now, some of our listeners, the online world is the great dark demonic devil of a frightening, horrible
Dominion,
space.
yeah, yeah.
For others, it's like, well, it's now our new norm. Like the whole world is online now,
Yeah.
and certainly COVID's pushed the body of Christ into online. We had 3 months of nightly prayer meetings during the lockdown recently. And it's like, well, that's the new world. It's online.
Yep.
And you the other kind of dimension to this is the gaming dimension, which is what you bring into the conversation today. You identify as a gamer. That simply means someone who plays online games.
Yeah. Somebody who enjoys a game, enjoys playing games, and gives time to playing games. So,
Not chess.
oh, I do play chess. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes online, but, but mostly.
'Cause you can.
But there's some big games out there.
Sorry, the desk guy is sending us messages again.
Thanks, Pete. Love you.
He's
Love
threatening
your work.
He's threatening us from outdoors.
But this is safe for you,
Look,
though.
I totally understand, and as a parent, as somebody who wants to create safe spaces, I understand that the internet, when you're looking online and you're dealing with people from around the globe, it can be a dangerous place.
Can be.
And certainly you need to take that seriously. And as a parent, it's your responsibility to take care of your child in who they're engaging with and the communities that they're a part of and the influences, I guess, that they kind of come under. So that's kind of why we have set up. We as a ministry that seeks to go out as a go gospel message to a community of people that exist out there. Where it's like, I guess, if a bunch of Christians went out to a skate park, right? That's where people are hanging out. Whatever they're doing, they're skating, drinking,
that's right.
graffiti, whatever. Mostly skating, I imagine, but. They go out to there to hang out with them, minister to them, just chat, form relationships, be authentic, and share the love of Christ. And so knowing that there are over 3.2 billion people who say that they're gamers in this world,
Wow.
It's a huge mission field, a very huge mission field. So let's take the gospel out to them. It's a dark place for sure. Let's bring some light. Let's be the salt and the light in that place. And what we're trying to do and what we are successfully doing is creating a community that is positive, that is free from toxicity, and which is an encouraging message, an encouraging community that brings a message of love.
Amen.
And we're welcoming to all faiths and all people, but we are overtly Christian in the way that we communicate. We have a segment on a Thursday afternoon called Real Talk, where we get guest speakers, we get people who are pastors, youth pastors, people from the association have come in, directors, people from as young as 15. My daughter's done a little segment where they communicate the gospel. They talk about real life stuff. We've had psychologists and doctors come in and talk about mental health. I've talked about personal training stuff like fitness and the importance of getting outside and exercising and eating right. And we do a little thing called hydration, where we scream hydration, we drink water. So we do that as a community to keep the water inflow coming in. We try and cover all areas in terms of our community. So gaming is the kind of the core, I guess, of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I keep saying stream. It's through a program called Twitch, so a platform called Twitch. If you're unaware of that, it's basically a lot of streamers. You can access an array of streamers, all different walks of life, and we're on that. So it's twitch.tv/Pastor Skar, Skar. The main guy who streams, his name's Kieran Scaria, hence the Scar part. He is an ordained, accredited reverend through the Baptist Association. He's been a trained youth pastor for 8 years in Sydney, and then he just started playing games because he saw a need, and that was almost 4 years ago, and now reaches out to a huge amount of people. In those last 3 and a bit years, we've reached 127,000 unique viewers. So that's if people come back, they don't get counted again. It's just unique viewers. 127,000 people have engaged with our stream. And that's kind of collected into about 5.78 million minutes worth of content collectively viewed, which is encouraging message and love of Christ and his name shared. So huge amounts of blessing has flowed through that. We've had a lot of feedback, a lot of requests for prayer. We ran a tournament recently. I'll tell you a story. We ran a tournament recently, which is on Fortnite through the stream, where people can register and play in a tournament. We give away cash prizes. So this is a great way to bring in people from outside into our community because they want to win some prize money in Fortnite. Anyway, one of the dads of one of the kids who competed in that messaged us saying, look, I'm not a Christian, I'm even an atheist, but I heard the Real Talk segment that you put out because I was watching my son play. And I heard that Real Talk, and it hit me in the feels, is what he said. And it moved me, and I'm actually thinking and considering things of God. And I'm really encouraged that my son is part of this community. It's one of a kind from the other communities that he's competed in and been part of. Wow. And so we're reaching parents of these kids, you know. You go to the skate park and you're meeting the parents of the kids that are skating your way. And you know, like anything in terms of youth groups, we're running games and things like that. There's challenges. You know, you're part of a community trying to coordinate, and so of course there's challenges and things that comes with that. But we are trying to reach these young people, anyone really, but mostly it's young guys with the gospel. And we're finding some positivity in that.
When I first heard of the ministry, really lit me up because my boy's been a gamer for quite some time.
Awesome.
And he loves it, likes to play. He likes getting better. He's a real competitor.
Yeah, awesome.
And the people he was encountering in these online forums and chats and when they stream, his biggest barrier was the language.
Yeah.
You know, he really had to train himself to tune that out and just focus on the game and not worry about that.
Yeah.
You know, people taunting and griefing and all that stuff, he didn't really care about that.
Sure.
It was just the language.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he's 6'3" at the moment, 15, but a gentle giant. He's a teddy bear. And, you know, and I want him to keep that as long as he can.
Yeah.
But when he first started to get into encountering, gamers on a different level that he could compete with, that's where things kind of went haywire for us a little bit, where he started to experience comments to him about his color, skin color. And to the point to where it brought him to rage, to where he was sending messages back of violence. That was a concern.
Sure.
Because, okay, hang on, son. You need to pull that back a bit and let's chat about that. And he was really hurt and distraught because friends of his were in on that chat and no one defended him. They all thought it was funny. It wasn't funny to him. But and that's the one thing about online. Sometimes you just can't see that what you're doing is actually really having an effect on that individual. To the fact to bring him to rage, no, there's something wrong with that. So when we chatted about that, talked about that, I think he was 13 at the time.
Wow.
And just told him, you know, people will try to get inside your head, you know, for various reasons. And, you know, if you're going to traffic in this area, you've got to learn how to tune that out as well. But at that point, I didn't know that this existed, you know. So now, I mean, it's a place where you can go and you can, like you said, a safe space.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's gonna, it's gonna be free from language, but I'm pretty sure you got moderators in there that would check that.
Yes.
I don't think moderators from some of the other platforms care. They want the people, they want the traffic. It's profit.
Yeah, sure.
Over the people.
Yeah.
So I, for one, took a shine to it. And begged Pete to get you in here for a long time, and he didn't want to get you in here. The guy on the front desk, he didn't want to do it. And I'm like, no one wants to hear about it. Yeah, he's busy. And sending us messages. He didn't care about all that stuff. We care. Craig and I care. We care.
In this safe space, we care.
Yeah. So I, for one, value what you do.
Thank you.
And really wanted to actually put this across the airwaves to pump it.
Yeah,
to actually, let people know that this is here. Because I know I'm not the only parent, a Christian parent out there.
You're not.
And I know I'm not the only one, but also not the only non-Christian parent out there that would like a safe ground.
Yeah.
So,
oh look, and your son's not alone in that experience. Finding like this is pretty rare that you would go and engage with somebody where you're in a voice conversation with somebody who you've never met, who now you're playing a game with or against. From anywhere around the world, in whatever culture. So whatever hurts and wounds that they're carrying and whatever way they're dealing with that, whether it's coming across in toxicity or whatever they've been learnt in terms of the way that they speak and how they engage with other people, it can be a dangerous place for young people. And certainly for my son, we have a kind of thing where it's like, if you want to engage with people, I need to know who it is that you're engaging, because we have a community, and that's one of the things that we have tried to do is create a community that is safe. Now, we can't control every single person for sure, and people do bring in their toxicity and whatever, and we try and work with those people. And as you said, we have a moderator team that monitor the chat and try and moderate that. We have, if anyone plays online, we talked about that's a family-friendly stream. You need to watch your language, things like that. And so we make sure that. But we demonstrate what it is to be positive, to be encouraging, to play games, and also be loving to one another. So we model that and see that come out in them. There's a story, a young girl came, I think she was a 15-year-old girl, came into our community, and she said, I didn't realize there was a Christian streamer who streamed Fortnite. I'm a gamer and I love playing games, but I often get abuse, sexist comments, and I often hear language that I don't want to hear. And it's very hard for me to enjoy playing games in a space where I constantly get barraged with this nonsense.
Garbage,
And so when I go to my youth pastor and I say, look, this is what I've experienced this week, they say, just don't play. They don't understand that actually I love playing. It's one of my passions and I'm good at it. But they don't understand. And so we've teed her up with one of our Christian female leaders as a mentor to help her through that, so that she can enjoy the gaming, enjoy a community that she's now a part of, that she can game with, who are constantly being encouraged to be positive in that way. And so we're able to help her in that unique situation.
There's an agenda, I want to suggest this, there's an agenda of darkness which is to divide. Right? It seems like no matter which way you cut it, the enemy is trying to separate. Trying to separate kids from parents, trying to separate kids from youth leaders, trying to separate kids from each other. And that division, we can play into that. I just heard that narrative that you were sharing about, here's the drama that I experience being online. I will just get offline. It's like, well, you didn't enter into my story. You didn't come with me and help me go somewhere. And I think I wonder if that's not the story for many of us. I'm a parent and or grandparents even listening and going, well, I'm not comfortable with this. Bad things happen there. Just don't do it. In actual fact, you're creating. I would say it's almost like you're a missionary going into a mission field. You've created a mission field that's a place that's not necessarily a Christian community, although it's clearly collating Christians. It's becoming a safe space online for Christians, but for pre-Christians as well, whatever demographic that happens to be represented, they're able to engage in and potentially be discipled towards Christ all the way through that experience. that's where he is, because that's where they are. And I hear the exhortation in you to go be with them, go bring and announce and declare the kingdom and our King. And to be able to see it in a safe space, I think is the key. You're obviously responsible for delivering training around safe spaces, so that's not a coincidence. Like, that's a big deal. That's not I've signed off on we need to be safe. That's actually I carry this. In fact, you're married to Mrs. Safe Space, I think. Is that
is that correct? Yes,
that's true, isn't it?
Yeah. So my wife is the child safety coordinator with the Baptist Association.
Yeah.
So that's her role. So so she's got a doctorate in corporate governance.
Yeah.
And in law. So her background is legal, and so she brings a legal and governmental point of view to that. And so a lot of it is about the way that safety and procedures are implemented, and they're not just adopted by the community, but actually then communicated and implemented. So in terms of all the leaders that we give authority to, in terms of moderating and stuff, we screen them. They sign the code of conduct that we have. We interview them. We also get references who we interview about them. So we go through the process, and then we give probation period, but we also give them training as well on what they need to do and what we're expecting of them. Excellent. And so part of that is all of it.
Mate, and I'm listening to it, I'm thinking that's no small thing. No. It's like you guys have got this thing managed tight. Whatever thinking exists around the safe space of that, you guys are right on the cutting edge of it all.
Yeah, look, we looked. There's no books on this yet. So we're kind of in that process of almost writing it. Now, obviously, don't want to be presumptive. There are a lot of people in a lot of spaces like this that are out there doing great things, and we're trying to connect with them and doing what we can. And we have been able to connect with a lot of people in that way. We're on the forefront of a ministry here as it's grown. And so, we're just doing our best to try and stay ahead of that and bring the resources that we have together.
Central Coast, Rema.cc if you're online, because it's a brilliant website to be finding us in. I'm assuming we've got Mark Watson in here from Scar Ministries. I keep going to call you Pastor Mark, but you kind of are, because you're kind of pastoring our whole online world.
In a way.
And it's not like you haven't done the whole study stuff to be the Baptist pastor guy anyway, but, so it's all there. Pastor Mark, from that online ministry, online gaming ministry, SCAR Ministries, SKAR Ministries, and you've been talking to us today about stuff that I think is relevant to pretty much every household in the New South Wales Central Coast.
Yeah, definitely. And it's growing too.
Kids are into online gaming. Adults are into online gaming.
For sure,
in a big way. And so we've been listening to this space that you've created, which is a ministry area. You're going into the world, because Jesus sort of said that'd be a good idea. Be in the world, but not of it. Get into it. And actually bring a kingdom dimension there. And so Scar Ministries is a Twitch platform you were talking about, twitch.tv.
Twitch.tv/Pastor Scar is where you can catch the streams live. But we have a website, www.pastorscar.com. So pastorscar.com.
Because parents and grandparents are listening right now going, my kid's a gamer. I've lost him into the world of gaming and don't know how to connect. Him or her, yes. And don't know how to get them back out of that world. Have I lost them forever? Well, actually, you guys have a ministry that helps, in terms of how to come alongside a young person as well. Helps to understand, what is healthy and safe. I mean, listening to you are a conundrum to me, mate, quite honestly. Here is a guy who trains trains churches and ministries or whatever on being safe, on safe spaces, with married to Mrs. Child Safety, right? and who jumps off cliffs with rope, hopefully tied up.
Mostly,
or climbs up cliffs with or without rope.
Master Styles.
And you eat Jack. That's it, Jack Styles.
I'm taking him climbing too,
Master Styles.
And also been in this phenomenon of online gaming up to your eyeballs. It's like, man, you're doing the whole thing.
Man. I just have passions and I love meeting people where they are. I love being authentic in my relationships, and so if we can connect with young people or anyone, if I can connect with anyone in a genuine way, and they're willing to be genuine too. None of this fakeness, masks on, pretentious anything. We're actually just being honest and real with each other. Then whatever it is that we are doing, we can enjoy that activity as well as that relationship.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he say in the beginning of the program that God wanted him at the center?
There it is.
At the center? Because you're in amongst it.
Yeah.
You're totally in amongst it.
Yeah.
127,000 individuals.
Yeah, unique viewers.
Individual people have connected with this ministry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now,
across 96 different countries. You've got Canada, US, Russia, anywhere in the Middle East, Europe, Africa, Asia, Indonesia, New Zealand and Australia make up a big portion, but yeah, we're around the world.
That is massive. So maybe just from a practical sense, and we've got a lot of stuff to cover in this next little bit. But how long are you guys online for each day?
So we stream Monday to Friday. On the Monday to Thursday stream is Sydney times 3:30 to 6:30. 3:30 to 6. Sorry, sometimes it goes through to 6:30. But yeah, at 3:30 to 6. Monday to Thursday, and then on Friday it's an unfiltered stream. So it's just Kieran grabs his phone and just chats and interacts with the community. And so that's at 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. So he streamed this morning just from a couch with his little blankie and just talking and just hanging out with the community, just spending time with them, talking about life, talking about what's happening over the weekend and hearing what people are. There's some people from America on saying that they've just eaten their Thanksgiving turkey and stuff. We're talking about the different cultural aspects regarding Thanksgiving and how Canada's Thanksgiving is October, but America, and just having just some chill vibes and chatting.
Wow. And so this is the reach, this is where people are, and this is the reach of Scar Ministries at the moment, which is just outrageous. It's quite an incredible thing. And so relevant because, as I said, there will be very, very few homes across the Central Coast that don't have a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Nintendo Switch or a PC that isn't
something in there,
wired up for gaming specifically. In fact, more and more that's just the norm, if not universally the case. So you guys exist, and Pastor Scar's under the Baptist Association kind of covering, but how does it all work?
So it's a not-for-profit organisation. So we are registered as not-for-profit. And we are registered through the Baptist Association as well. But we're very non-denominational in that way, in that we're welcoming to all people. Kieran's trained through the Baptists. But yeah, this is a very non-denominational ministry. But yeah, we have a board, which I'm part of, and we have signatories on an account. So some churches have partnered with us. Some people have partnered with us in terms of kind of giving generously on a weekly, monthly basis and things like that to support, because it is all not for profit. That's the way we get support, but it doesn't go straight to Kieran's account. He goes into a bank account and he gets a wage from that. That's regulated.
Yeah. And so he's drawing some sort of means of support in that ministry. He's the front guy, and you guys are a board that oversees this. But you also have this function as moderator. What does a moderator do?
So moderator, we meet once a week at a moderator meeting, but we also are there to moderate the streams. So when Kieran's live, he's doing a range of things, including playing high-level Fortnite and stuff like that. He's an incredible player.
Right.
He's getting better and better. We have a little segment called Pastor to Pro. So he's a pastor, but we're trying to get him pro. He got some earnings the other day. For the first time, he's made some money in a competition on a Fortnite platform. So actually made some money. So he's technically pro now, but he's growing that way. But he's fantastic.
Sorry, who recognises someone as pro, or how does that?
Just if you make money off something that you're doing,
okay,
you're professional, right?
Right.
It was $30. Like, let's not. You made it. You made it. Well done. So he's not making a living off it, but look, he's getting there. But he's an incredible player. player. But yeah, so he's doing all that. So he's got a support team. So we are interacting with the chat. We're encouraging people. Hey, how you going? What's been happening? Somebody's sharing something. We're able to respond to that. We have different what's called commands where we can type in a word with an exclamation mark at the start of that word, and then it pops up with some information or a link or something like that. So we're constantly doing things like that to help promote. We've got something called a Discord channel, which is a different platform altogether, where the community exists outside the stream.
Yeah.
So we're interacting all the time, 24/7, with them. So there's a community, thousands of people in that channel that people can react. But we have like little sub-channels. One, need prayer. So you can go into that need prayer channel and type in your prayer, and then a team will come in.
That's nuts.
And pray for you. And so then we have a thank God channel as well. And if there's a response to that prayer or something's happened, you can say, thank God for, man, people have written that, and we can be praying for those people and celebrate with them and what God's doing in their life. So that's that's a community. Some people just exist in that community alone. They don't even watch the stream, but they exist in that community. So yeah, we moderate the chat. We moderate, people can come in and start being racist and stuff, and we just eliminate that. But part of that is also coming alongside those people who have come in to be toxic and come into grief, as you mentioned, which is just to ruin the game because they like that for some reason. And we try and get alongside them, and we love them.
That's the moderator's role to do that?
Part of the moderator's role, and Kieran also helps with that as well. There was a young guy who came in with a friend, and they started griefing one of our games. So one of our games...
That's a term, griefing it.
Griefing, yeah.
Okay.
So it just means they've come in to cause grief.
Yeah, they're not there to compete. They're there to disrupt.
Yeah, disrupt. And so they came in to do that, and so that we promptly kicked them out of the game, and we ruined the game. But we were able to speak into them and say, you know what, like, you've come in, you've griefed, but you know, we're a forgiving community. We're going to forgive you. We want you to be part of this community. We want you to enjoy a positive, safe community that we've got here, and we're glad you found this stream. And even though you've come in with these intentions, we want you to be part of it. We would love for you to stay here. We don't want to kick you out. And we would just like you to enjoy it, and we'd love to get to know you. And that person was like, whoa.
Wow.
Look, I'm really sorry that I came in and griefed. I do like to stay. And they interacted, and they've been part of the community since, and they've not griefed, and they've been able to enjoy that space. And that's the first time they've experienced something like that. They've done something negative, and they're not just dismissed and sworn at or whatever. They've actually been loved, and we were able to do that.
Yeah,
so.
that's the transforming power of the gospel right there.
Amen.
Online, 127,000 currently who've touched this space, and you guys are ministering. You got pastors, you got all sorts of interactive space for people to be discipled into or encounter. How would people be able to partner with Scar Ministries?
Yeah, we would love to partner with people, and that doesn't just mean, hey, give us money or pray for us, which obviously that's great, and certainly that would really helps us, prayer and generous support. But actually, we're in an online space. It's relatively new to a lot of people, and we would just love to be able to connect with organizations who need help in this area, or would like advice on things like, my son plays 12 hours a day. Well, how can I engage with him, and how can I help him in that way, or her? And so, basically, we want to partner, do our bit, as well as people can, if they're feeling led to, can support us as a church, as we're reaching out, or as individuals.
It's the great unknown. Parents, grandparents, absolutely uncertain as to what's safe, what's appropriate, how much, how little, how do I engage. We had this meaningful conversation before we went on air about a whole bunch of little things like that, which your ministry exists to resource parents, grandparents, schools, whatever, with a safety online and in that space. Again, the website?
so all the W's, pastorscar.com. Pastor, SKAR.com. Jump on there. You can book a call with Kieran. You can send him an email. You can reach out to us, or you can just join us online at twitch.tv/Pastor Scar. Now,
we're working on getting Pastor Scar up here. Both you guys. We got to get both you guys back. Now, I know he does this Friday morning thing. He can do it from here. It's not a problem. So, actually, you know what? Why not stream the whole deal while we're in here?
Oh, he would love that.
But we can do that.
He's open to that. I've already talked to him, and he's keen.
We should do that. We should do that, because there's a whole lot more here, from the gaming platform itself that can be discussed and opened up. We need a whole another hour to do that. And I believe we should get in there and do it, because the devil's MO hasn't changed. He's still going after the children, and that field in there is dangerous. So, but thank you for your time, man. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you
I mean,
so much.
you came a long way.
Yeah, East Gosford's area.
I know that traffic, man, is in the storm going on. That's all right. Anytime. Excellent. Thank you. Thanks, Craig.
Awesome, Mark Watson. You've been our guest and we've loved it. Thanks so much for bringing SCAR Ministries to the context of Rima CC across the Central Coast. Have a great day.
See you next week, folks.
You've been listening to an encore presentation of New Expressions, which can be heard live every Friday morning at 10 a.m. on 94.9 Rima Central Coast.